Okay, got it. All right. All right, John, what you're going to do is if you're on my page there, just go ahead and hit refresh.
Right on. I see the live.
Okay, go ahead and click on that.
Yep. Then
The video is going to pop up, but you're going to hit pause, okay?
Okay.
You don't want the video. Well, you can have it running. You just make sure that it is muted.
Yeah, that's what I did. I turned the volume all the way down.
Yep. You want to at least do that. If not, just pause it or whatever. And then on the right side, you should see the top chat or whatever it should say, live chat on the right. You see that?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So we got a few people watching. It should be 3 others besides us because we got 5, it says.
Cool.
Whoever's in the chat, go ahead and say hello. Let us know that you're here. And I'll post on here.
Now your the YouTube is a little delayed from what I'm seeing. Is that cool?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
So that's why I just pause it.
Okay. So
right.
pause it until we get some things going on.
Well, yeah. When you pause the video, all it does is just pause the video. The chat still runs as normal.
Oh, okay. Cool. Cool. Yeah, I'm new to all this stuff, Billy.
Yeah. Tony
cool.
Stansberry, he's here. What's up? What's up, Tony?
How's it going, buddy?
So I'm going to share this to Facebook. Copy, paste, and then I will tag you, my good man.
Right on.
Okay, friends. Look, should be good to go. Okay. You want me to share this to a specific group for you?
Yeah, you could put it on the Relentless Arm Wrestling practice page too.
I don't know if I'm part of that one.
If not, yeah, I'd have to invite you to it if you're not, Billy.
Yeah, I don't think I'm on that one. I know I'm part of Chucky's group and JD's group.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the same crew of fellas. If you get to both of those guys.
Okay.
Pulsio TV, how's it going, buddy?
Where? What's their group called? Townville, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Townville Arms of Steel, is it? JD, I just seen them guys today.
Nice. Townville. And what was Chucky's group? I can't remember.
I mean, I'm not 100% sure what Chucky's name.
Chucky's group.
His Facebook group. I'm not 100% sure. I usually send everybody to the Relentless page, and that's how they contact him. He does have a page, but I don't exactly remember which one up top.
What was his club called? It's on his table. What's that? Dang. I feel bad now. I'm just getting a brain fart about it.
You and me both. I mean, I guess I never really looked at his table all that hard. No offense. I guess I kind of just go and arm wrestle them boys, you know. I don't really pay attention to stuff like that, you know.
Okay. All right, we got quite a few people here. Let's see here. Poseo, what up, dog? Christian's here. What's going on, Christian?
Yeah,
We had good practice today myself and our guys. We had a practice earlier on this afternoon. It's pretty good. I am toast. That's what I told the guys. I said, man, my arms are whoo. They're feeling it.
Got a good one in. How long do you guys practice for?
We usually go 2 hours.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. If it's a more than 10 guys there, then it's usually a little bit longer, depending on how many sables we get. But usually if we get right around 10, it's usually about 2 hours worth.
Staying cycled right through.
Yeah.
Keep
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christy's here, my wife. Hello, Christy.
How you doing, Christy?
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. All right.
Let's do it, buddy.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the show. East Ohio Arm Wrestling Podcast. We welcome everybody to the show. Johnny Heynoski, welcome to the podcast, man. Thanks for joining us.
Man, thank you for having me, buddy. It's a pleasure.
Awesome. Want to thank you for being here. Also, I definitely want to thank the sponsors of the podcast. Let's see here. Let's see if I can point at the right one. Let's see here. Bill Connor and Morrow County Arm Wrestling League. We want to thank them for sponsoring the podcast and their continued support. Right up here, Zach Perkins and his company Grip Arm Sport. Make sure you guys check out his Facebook page. I think they're going to be getting a online store here coming up soon for Grip Arm Sport apparel. So you guys keep a lookout for that. Also, over here, Kiwanis of East Liverpool. They are a great group of people that we're working with East Ohio Arm Wrestling. Great group of people. And East Ohio Arm Wrestling right here. You guys check the group out on Facebook. It's a private group, so if you want to be involved in that, make sure you let me know and I'll send you the invite. And last but not least, up top, Marshall Thompson Trucking, the man. He's helping us out a whole lot with the Zoom and everything. So we would definitely want to thank him for his continued support of East Ohio Arm Wrestling. So
awesome, man. Big thank you for me as well.
Yeah.
Right on.
Okay, so Johnny Heynoski, man, I really appreciate you being here. Thanks for joining us, man.
Likewise, man. Appreciate it.
It's an honor having you on the show. So I definitely wanted to start out the podcast. Just tell us about yourself in general. And my first question was going to be just like, where did you grow up? Where did everything start? You just want to tell us about yourself, and we'll just start from there.
Yeah, so I was born and raised Erie, PA. Single, just single child. Was always kind of into athletics. My dad was, so I was born in '87, and that's about the time my dad was really coming into his time. So he was incredibly motivated, and through my, youngest development is when I seen, some of the greatest things he's ever done, in his life and in the sport. So I kind of just flowed along with that and became like his sidekick, and whatever sports he wanted to put me in, that's what I was in. So fast forward up into why I'm arm wrestling is so I was cage fighting and had a motorcycle accident and was healing from that. And during that time, MMA kind of just took a backseat in my town for a while. So to stay competitive in my nature, I wanted to do something that was at least somewhat competitive. So I once I got my motorcycle fixed up, I rode over to Bart's house, started training with Bart Wood on Sundays. And those guys would just work with me, for what I was worth at the time, healing up. And I just wanted to be around some competitive dudes, good spirit, good energy, old school tough guys that kind of keep me in my spirits, because I was, I broke my femur, my back, my elbows. I was a little messed up. Yeah, all on my right side. Blew this thing apart, man. It was a bad mistake, young, dumb, stupid, riding motorcycles, going too fast. And
right.
I couldn't maneuver fast enough out of the way from a stopped car, and end the story. I hit the ground,
Yeah.
whatever.
That'll put a damper on the party, won't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So like arm wrestling never really became a motivation of mine. It was just kind of a pastime, and I enjoyed seeing Bart and Dave Chape, all those guys, Wagner, those school fellas who were friends with my dad, and it was just a way for me to be around a good group of guys, keep my spirits up. So I really
How old were you when that happened, John?
I was that was 2009, so I think 22, just turned 20. No, I was still 21. It was May Friday the 13th, man.
Oh no.
Buddy.
Oh no.
And it was a few months before a title fight that I had too for cage fighting. I had an amateur title fight and got busted up. Unfortunately, things happen. And like I said, went to the arm wrestling to stay competitive and hoping that the MMA would come back around. But what happened is the show came on. So I was are you paused, Billy?
No.
Okay,
No.
cool.
I'm here.
I want to make sure. My area up here sometimes can glitch out. I live in a funny area, so I just want to make sure it's still going.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we're good.
So yeah, the show ended up coming out, and I was still practicing with the guys, and I hit a couple tournaments. I went to a tournament in Connecticut, one of Travis's tournaments with Bart. It was, oh man, I loved traveling back then. Thinking of those times, it was just a good time. Fresh in my career, I knew nothing, and it was just fun jumping in with Bart. We'd just go, he'd be like, "Hey man, Travis is having a tournament, let's go." My buddy Sean Whalen, high school buddy who trained with us, just some really good times, man. A lot of good memories, and it was one of my first tournaments. I was amateur. I went to Connecticut, and I think I placed. I'm sorry, I went 2-2 that day in the 76 class. It was the lightest class. It was just, it was just wild to go back and think my mindset now and what it was thinking then. So it was cool that day, though. I got to meet Chad Silvers, who was a super just how do I want to say, like a legend in my mind that I didn't know at the time, because he was friends with my dad through my dad's career. So when I was growing up, again, I would hear names like John Verzink and Chad Silvers, Cobra Roach, Ron Bath, Johnny Walker, Gary Goodrich. Those were names that I knew nothing. Well, I'm sorry, I should say that I didn't see them, but I knew so much about them. Then I met some of them on the show, and I'm like, it was surreal,
Holy moly. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of people may have thought my mindset at the time of the show was to like do something in the sport, but I was just absolutely starstruck at this opportunity. And then once I really got a piece of what top level pros are, not to say I hadn't pulled some solid guys, because in the amateurs, one of my first ever losses matches was Sam Harris.
Wow.
So so I had some decent matches, but nothing to know anything about it, because I didn't have anything for these guys. So you can't really judge where you're at, so you just get blown through.
Right.
The show, it did a lot for me as far as what I wanted to do, I guess, with my life in the sport. It was a huge opportunity, and I think I would have been a fool to not follow that. And I'm happy that I did. It's gotten me here, it's gotten me here. And it's it gave me a little, I should say, a lot of piece of humble pie. When you lose like that in front of many people, you know what I mean? You get comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. For anybody that doesn't know, the show that John was on, as the same show that Cobra Rhodes was on last week. It's a Game of Arms. So I think it was 2000. 11, 12, something like that came out.
So we
What year
filmed
did that come out?
2013, and the show
13.
came out, I believe, in like February of 2014. It came out.
Okay. So at that point, you had about what, 5 years in?
No, I had so I think I started, so it was like on and off. I would go like 6 months on and 8 months off with Bart up until from like '09 until 2012. So I kind of
Oh,
don't really count those years too much
right.
because there was absolutely no focus whatsoever as far as projecting myself in the
Right.
sport.
So you
Um,
only had about 2 years or a year and a half in, and
so
you're
when
on this Game of Arms show. Holy
yeah,
moly.
yeah.
Jeez.
And to give you a perspective, Billy, I had never pulled a pro athlete other than Sam Harris until the show. So I never had, I mean, other than my practice guys, but I've never had professional experience. And
Wow.
it was a whole different story, you know? It was just different.
Whew, man, what a
Yeah,
wake
it
up
was a
call.
rude awakening. It was a
Yeah.
rude awakening, man. And you know, I mean, I drew guys. Okay, so my first match was fella from New York, Dan Fortuna. All right, I weighed 159. I believe he was 252.
Holy crap. How in
And
the world did that?
well, the show had picked its matches and who it wanted to face who. So the way that they thought the best outcome would be would if I remember correctly, Bart pulled Solaris left-handed. James Wagner pulled
So they were
Brogdon.
just trying to go for the matches that were as even as possible.
Let's say what their even was.
Oh, geez.
What their even was, you know, in my opinion, and I'm not trying to be biased on Team Relentless or Team Erie, but if if the matches were switched around, then I think that Team Erie would have won, in my opinion. I mean, we had Dave and Travis. I mean, there was really nobody beating those guys either hand.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Not to say that there wasn't other fantastic talent on the show. At the time, I was drawing everybody as a loss. I don't think that I could have beat anyone on the show at that moment, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just, you know, with all due respect to me. I mean, what am I going to say? But
Yeah, we can do.
yeah, so you know, I did it, you know, out of respect for my old man, because my dad was trying to make a comeback before he passed away, and I figured, you know what, man, here's a shot to kind of keep him alive. Hell with it. I really don't know much about arm wrestling except screwing around and, you know, learning a
Right.
little bit for it. But like I said, it wasn't super serious. He taught me what I was willing to absorb. You know what I'm saying?
Was your dad able to go with you on that trip on the Game of Arms
Unfortunately,
journey?
no. My dad passed away, Billy, in 2008.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's never got to see any of my arm wrestling success at all. Nothing of it. Like,
Bummer.
he's never seen me win a match, I think, in my life. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
like a legit match.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish my dad passed away in 2010. I wish you know, he was able to be around, because he always loved the arm wrestling, and it was me and my mom and my brother was just talking about this yesterday. You know, he'd always, you know, do the look at that forearm, you know what I mean? And he always liked to do we was just talking about this again. Yeah. He always liked to do the arm wrestling where you go like this.
Yeah.
He's like, this is how you do it, boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would have been great to have my dad along for the ride with this, because I guarantee he would have loved to be around the competition as far as arm wrestling goes.
You know what, man? And honestly, I wish my old man was around for the show, because it would have been really interesting to see, because he was by 2013, he would have been really solid in his comeback, and he probably would have been around 198. Depending on how serious he wanted to take it, maybe 187s. So
Dang.
he would have pulled in the class with Craig Toulier, Bill Logston, and Mike Solaris on the show. And I really, really think that where my dad could have been, he could have went with any one of those guys and made a match of it with any one of them.
Wow.
And I think all those guys would respectively say the same. My Craig Toulier knew my dad really well and always said good things about him. They were on the world team together. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, another great dude in the sports, Craig. Good dude.
That's awesome, man. Let's check out the chat here real quick.
Sure.
Drew Hollinger, he's here. What up, big dog?
Yep.
Let's see. What is this? Trans Canada. Todd's going downhill and has to call out Devin's name just to keep his name in the talks. Devin's going to smash Todd again, and then Todd will call out Levon just to keep his name in legit. Oh boy. There's a lot of drama going on right now in that.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't really pay attention to, man. I don't really have energy for drama. That's just not really who I'm not really in it for that stuff. I don't,
Yeah. Juan Ortega, he's here.
What's up,
The
Juan?
animal.
Yes, good
Big dog.
dude.
What up, big dog? He said, love to have you come back to BG, John.
Oh man, you already know, buddy. You already know. We'll keep in touch for sure. Great time out.
It was a good time, yeah. Your match with Kevin, that was an awesome one. That leads me right into my next question, man. Leads me right into my next question.
What's up?
Do you have a favorite match that you've been in? And do you have one that you'd like to have back? Two-part question.
Okay. So actually, it's hard.
Your favorite match that you've been in. Let's just go with that one first. Do you have a favorite match that you've ever been in? The one that you love?
Man, it's hard to say because I've enjoyed, I've enjoyed a lot of my matches. I enjoy the sport so much. Win and losing, it doesn't really matter. But dude, to be honest with you, I had some of the best matches. Some of the best time I had was at your tournament in East Liverpool. Like, that was a great time. It was the first time I've been there with John Baker. And, man, it was a fun atmosphere. It was a good time. So I can say I like that. A match that I'd like to have. You're welcome, man. A match that I'd like to have back aside of Kevin's, which was, I love that match.
That was a good one.
Dude, Paul Fisher is a bad dude, man. I love that man. He's tougher than hell. He went up to like 76, I believe. And I think he beat Zaza like left-handed.
Wow. Holy moly.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe so. Whatever last tournament. Oh, New Way. I think he won New Way left-handed.
That's awesome. Heck yeah. Now, you beat Paul Fisher in that super match up in Erie, didn't you?
Yeah, right-handed. And it was a complete dogfight. And it was just, there was so much intensity. And he had beaten me the second match. And, I knew that he was super dangerous. So it was like, it really brought out, a whole different me. I got to reach down deep. And I like matches like that. He's an honorable dude, and just what it brought out in me, I enjoy feeling that feeling. You know what I mean? That just dig down.
Yeah, you really got to dig down deep for those ones for sure.
Yeah. And getting back to the match with Kevin too. What a grinder! I mean, I feel like I leveled up. Losing the match really doesn't matter. My performance against him, I think, was stellar. Like, I think, there was nothing more that I could have done, man. I went everywhere. I tried to press him, top roll, hook. Like, we fought everywhere. And I mean, I'm happy that I was able to transition like that against an arm that's an arm that is that, stapled in the sport at this time. I mean, Kevin's the real deal. He's legit.
Yeah. That was trust me, it was a great match to watch, and then even better match to ref, because you guys were were great. You know, like you didn't fight too hard in the setup. You guys fought a little bit, but trust me, that's gonna happen. But it's like, as a referee, you know, the guys that are gonna, you know, make it hard for me. You guys made it nice and fair for me and your guys' selves. It was awesome. I loved watching it. I loved even better just being front row and center right to it. That I had the best seat in the house for the match. It was awesome.
That's cool. That's cool, man. I mean, listen, I came prepared. I was the most healed up and ready I could be, man. And I think Kevin was as ready and leveled up as he could be too. I mean,
yeah.
So it was just a great match. He got to answer some questions, and so did I, you know?
Yeah, for real. Dude, it was definitely a good one. Definitely a good one.
I had planned to come up and train with Kevin last weekend, but I've been really training hard and I've been getting beat up. Bart and we've been pulling like 3-4 times a week pretty hard. And then, you know, I just been getting after it. And I want to come out to see Kevin, and even if I come to see you guys, a little bit more healed up so we can get that 2-hour work in, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Let's check out the chat.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Poseo said, yeah, stay away from the drama and clickbait. Yeah, I think that's definitely a good way to go. Yeah. Definitely a good way to go. Yeah. Our stuff arm wrestling, he said. Jeff Wilkinson, Wilkie, he's here. He said, what's up, boys?
What's going on, Jeff?
What up, what up? Let's see here. Poseo said, Kev versus John was one of the most beautiful matches I've seen. You could, dude, I'm telling you, like, I was just talking to somebody. It was Joel after Cobra had left last week. And we just talked about the beauty of the sport. Like how fluid motions can be. And once you understand really what you're looking at, oh my goodness, it is so gorgeous. It's a beautiful dance in my mind, you know.
And Billy, you know what, bro? I want to state this, and this is like a wide range shout out to like almost every arm wrestler, not even ranked guys, but everybody out there that's competing right now from amateur level, semi-pro to pro. The sport is at its highest level of technicality. Every dude is so technical at every level that it's not just about training handles and power. It's literally learning how to fight in this sport. Like,
yeah,
you can take all the handles and grips and all that stuff you want, but if you don't know how to arm wrestle, if you don't understand your real estate on the pad, if you don't know where you're strong, you're weak, what you got to protect, what you got to work on, where you got to get to, there's not every way is the same way for every style of arm wrestling. Like, there's so much that goes to it, and it's not just like do this against every hooker and you'll win. It's like, no, every hook is different. So, and at a certain level, every hook you deal with is a high level, and you can't just do this. No, you got to do it here, and you got to know where to do it on this particular arm. So you can prepare as much as you want, but until you snatch that dude's hand and you get cracked on that ready go, you really don't know how to defend that man, even though you trained your whole keep for him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's wise words right there. Wise words. If you guys are new in the sport, you guys might as well just rewatch that back.
Right on.
Rewind this after it's over and write down everything and just put that, you know, in your phone and make sure you guys take that and learn from it for sure. That was great.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I just, you know, these are things that I tell myself to get better, you know, like this is my mindset. Winning teams don't change, right? So when I'm winning, I don't really change my keep. When I lose, I analyze.
That's when it's time to change up something. Yeah.
Time to change, you know? So now I feel like a whole way different guy after Kevin, much better than the man that arm wrestled Kevin because, well, hey, I didn't beat this man. I gave him everything I had, and what I was doing didn't work. So let me analyze, what can I work on? What do I think that I need to adjust differently? What did I bring to the table too much to him? What did I not bring enough? And
Right.
in my opinion, Billy, I think that I was feeling so good
Dude,
that
you look like a monster, dude.
I felt like one. And when I grabbed him, Billy, and I like was really giving him the stuff right off the start before we even
Yeah.
set up, I think I gave my hand away to him, and he realized just how strong my hook was because he top rolled me.
Dang.
And I think that was my mistake. Not to say that he couldn't top roll me not knowing, but that's my mistake in giving my hand away. I let him know just how I was coming in because I was feeling that froggy, and
Yeah.
that's an amateur mistake by a professional athlete.
There
So
you
there's
go.
an expectation right there. There's something I could do better,
Yeah.
Wilkie, will I be pulling Tennessee May 20? No, I will not. I was asked to do that. And Christian, I'm gonna grab your question in a moment. I was asked to do that by LeRae Jenkins. And I didn't really respond to the chat. I kind of watched to see what was going on, Not that I wasn't interested. This is just not something that I am interested in. I'm interested to watch it. Really bunch of good guys. But I got my sights on other things right now, And to be honest with you, I just, didn't really feel like going down there until I'm 100% ready to go. I just got done with Kevin. And that's a high feat, There's a lot of really tough guys in there, man, and that could be a career ender if you run into the wrong draw, Any one of those
Oh, yeah.
guys, every single dude there has a dangerous arm, every one of them. So, hey, more power to all those guys. I got respect for all them fellas, man.
Dude, man, I so hope that they can get that live stream going with John Scott and Enet Live. Oh man, I hope that they can make that happen and make it a pay-per-view because it is worth it. Dude, that round robin is worth a pay-per-view.
Billy, in my opinion, I think if Kevin gets a good draw, he has a really, really good shot at winning that. I mean,
his endurance is insane right now. Insane.
And you've seen from my match that he can fight everywhere.
Yeah.
We went everywhere, and he can defend everywhere very well. He's super slick. He's super slick in the setup and very, very detectful. I will say this, Billy, that he is he has been the hardest person for me to set up with to date. He threw me off in the setup very much, and his hand was viciously strong and it was big. So very complete arm wrestler. And I really think Kevin has a high probability of winning depending on where he gets the setup. I mean, Roman, in my opinion, is the most dangerous puller. He's proven. He's
Well, yeah.
Dudes like Brett Rockers, that's a bad man. Christian, I talked to Billy a little bit about Garage Wars, possibly a match with Kevin, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold off a little bit. I usually sign up my matches with James Reed. Usually James is the guy that I go through. He's done a ton for me in the sport. And at this moment, I don't think I'm going to take any more super matches or, big events without letting him know about it. I like arm wrestling under James. Like I said, him and Michelle always take really good care of me. They're great people. So, and that's another reason why I didn't go down to the Tennessee event either, because I had been busy and I really haven't been able to touch base with James and Michelle a whole lot. So, that's just life right now.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Yep.
It's being loyal to the ones that have been loyal to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I've learned a lot about that in the sport. You don't burn any bridges, and sometimes you get caught up in stuff, heat of the moment. You're out trying to make a name for yourself, but at the same time, you got to make sure you always come back and give that real love, you know?
That kind of leads me into my next question. Do you have any upcoming events or matches that you have scheduled?
Nothing set in stone, Billy. I after Kevin's match, I just kind of took a little bit of a focus to heal up a little bit more and
Dude, you
like
that had to have taken some healing, because you went all out. I mean,
oh, it
dude,
was
I
just
had sweat on me from you, from 3 feet away, bro. I know you put everything into that match, guaranteed.
Billy, you know what, man? And that's why I feel like I leveled up because I went over to Bart after match one and I'm like, Bart, I'm blown up. I'm like, this is a gut check. Match one on righty was a full gut check. It's like, and a lot of people ask me, did Lefty take it out of him? I'm like, listen, he pulled Lefty too.
Yeah.
No, it didn't. It didn't take. It blew Lefty apart. But if anything, the only thing that Left may not have had the greatest was the ability to hold on to the peg on the other side. But I mean, that really doesn't matter. But no, it didn't.
That didn't come into effect at all in the match. So
if anything, he was gassed too. Really, we both were. We both.
Yeah.
We both felt the left hand match going into the right arm. But that's who the hell we are, man. And yeah, his endurance was just, man, great match. I love looking back on it. Fantastic match.
Well, you do have a match coming up, right? You're going the same day I am against your boys up in Townville.
Tim, yeah.
You and Tim Lewis, July 15th.
I love Tim, man. That dude, he's a cool dude. I've been known him in the sport since basically when I started my first time at Winter Blast. I arm wrestled a couple of his guys, met him up there, and ever since then, he's always been cool as hell, man. He comes up here to train with us every now and then, helps our guys run tournaments, steps up for tournaments, and he comes down for our events. And my lefty is honestly getting pretty solid, and I just think it'd be a fun match. Tim's a cool dude. We're probably going to get into some good matches, and I mean, hell with it, whatever happens, happens. I really don't care. It's a hell of a match. It's a fun time. Puts on a show for people, And sometimes events like that are, that's what you do. You put on a little bit of a show. Him and I are going to hurt each other. We're going to make it a good practice sparring session. We're going to get down, And hey, if he blows through me, whatever. But I bet you, I'm going to be a strong arm for him. He knows that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I'm trying to find Paul's post about your guys' the Northeast East versus West event. Are you going to hit that one up? That East versus West, the Northeast one?
I think I'm just going to go work the event. I'm going to check it out and just see how it's ran, but I'll probably go support it and work the event and just wait a moment and check it out. I've learned that, if you chase a whole lot of oceans in this sport, man, sometimes, you get lost in one of them. Yeah. I like to stay in one of them and I want to focus on one, So I'm not trying to dip in all these baskets because then, you got this guy calling you. He wants a match. It just gets a little frustrating.
Yeah. For anybody that doesn't know about it, the Northwest qualifier for East versus West that John is talking about is in Utica, New York, April 15th.
Yeah. Yep. And that's going to be a James Reed event.
Yes. Yeah. So you're going to go up and help them out. What are you going to do, ref?
Yeah, I'll probably ref. Excuse me. More than likely, I'll end up reffing for him. Cool. Help set up, break down, whatever he needs.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I believe there's a 54 class, but it doesn't get to qualify. So, and to be honest with you, Billy, it'll interest me more when the 54 class qualifies,
Yeah.
So I'll check it out, I mean, but I got my hands in some other baskets right now,
Yeah. DJ Fenton, he's here. What up, DJ? He said true story. I'm not sure what he's talking about, but true story, he said.
I think when I was mentioning about James Reed back to before that loyalty.
Gotcha. Okay. Yep.
Good dude there,
man. John Isola, he's here. What up? What up, John? He said, "Truth, John. Can't wait to see you compete again."
Thank you, buddy.
Wilkie, he said, respect that, man.
Right on, all you guys.
Christian said, hear you. And then
Yep.
Poseo said, loyalty is very important and begin grateful to people that has helped you. That's awesome.
Right on. Yep. Yeah, man. And that really goes back to the old school too. And a lot of my drive in this sport is the loyalty to my dad. You know what I mean? We branded each other in hard work and grind. That's where we built our relationship, was through that hard grind. And like, he's gotten me through the hardest times of my life, so it's like, and he's still doing it. It led me to arm wrestling. I've met so many great people. It's helped me achieve a level in myself. It's kept me focused from drugs and jail and the dumb stuff that any human can do if they just have the wrong direction. I mean, we're not all different, man. It's what we put in our minds to do.
I've seen so many people that have started in arm wrestling, just even in the short amount of time I've been in the sport, that it hooks people in. If they get hooked a little bit, man, I tell you what, the drive that people can achieve through arm wrestling, I think it helps people really focus on something, and to be able to really focus on something other than just like going to work or whatever. And arm wrestling, it as well as I do, it doesn't take a whole lot to really just focus on it, and you don't have to do a ton of different stuff. It's these small intricate movements, and it doesn't take benching 400 pounds to be good at arm wrestling.
Right.
And it's nice that people can better themselves throughout their journey in arm wrestling, along with their skills that they're honing and achieving in the sport. They're also bettering their lives. They're working on maybe stopping drinking so much, or smoking, or cussing, or whatever they're doing in their life. They're trying to better themselves through the discipline that arm wrestling has achieved in their life.
Right. And that's the thing too, man, is as an adult, it's really hard to rediscipline yourself when you don't have a parent. When you're an adult supposed to tell yourself what to do. It's like, if you give that control to arm wrestling, it's not going to abuse you unless you abuse it. It doesn't have that emotion. So if you give your love and your passion to this sport, then dude, it's going to give you back. It is. Listen, I have got injuries and cried and pissed and moaned and bled and blah, blah, blah with the sport. But I have cried because of greatness, and I have achieved so much just as a human being that all that doesn't matter. It just fuels that positivity more. Like, look at that. Like, I could be that, but I'm this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's awesome. That's awesome. Let's see. Christian said definitely would be nice to have you out for a practice, John, or even a spectator at Garage Wars.
I will be there. John Baker has a match with. Is John Baker pulling out there?
John's. I don't think John has a match for Garage Wars. I know Chucky does.
And Tyler.
Tyler does.
Yes.
Man, who else? Give me 1 second. I can actually.
You're pulling John at JD's event, right?
Yes, I'm pulling John at JD's event. Hey, I'm telling you, you better get him ready, son. You better get him ready, because I'm coming.
I told him. He's feeling solid, man. He's a gamer, Billy. You guys are going to have a dang good match, dude. I love it.
Because I don't mind going somewhere else if something else doesn't work. I'm just like you, man. I'll try every avenue possible.
Well, that's how it should be, man, because one thing I hate in the sport is when people are like, I couldn't get to my spot. Man, you should have 1,000,000 spots.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to hear that. You couldn't get to your spot. What kind of stuff is that?
All right, let me see here. I got Garage Wars. Let's see here. Where are my matches? Search events. Okay, boost event, invite, Garage Wars discussion. There we go. Come on, load up. Thank you for Grip Arm Sport for sponsoring the Garage Wars event. We really appreciate them. Thank you so much for that.
Right on.
Let's see here. Yeah, JD and Nathaniel Richards are going at it.
Okay, cool.
Yep. Do you get to train with the Morrison boys?
No,
New York.
no. Fred and
Matt. Yeah, Fred and Matt.
They're some tough kids, man.
Yeah, they are.
Tough boys.
I got Matt Morrison and Noah Buki. They're going at it right hand.
That Noah kid's pretty solid. He pulled Drew at your event, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But he's tough, that kid.
Yep. I'm not sure what Matt has in store for him, but I'm sure Noah can do something.
Who else is pulling?
Let's see here. Trying to figure out the ones that are from your area there. Yeah, Tyler Van Epp is Tyler Van Epps. He's going up against Caleb Wilkinson, right hand.
Yeah.
Now they faced each other at the Kiwanis event, and Tyler got the best of Caleb, I do believe.
Yes.
But I'm telling you what, Caleb, he's trying, man. He's going to these practices and he's learning what he needs to learn, and I'm hoping that he's going to give Tyler a good match. You
know what, man? It's the youth in this sport is what's truly inspiring to.
I love it. I love it.
I enjoy my success and stuff, but like, soon as you get some of these teenagers to come in and like snap you into a spot, and you're like, wow, look at this little dude, and he's like really reefing on you, and like taking it serious to there every day. It's like, man, being around that youthful energy, just
it's awesome. It's awesome. I love it.
It's big. That's like the elixir. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, the other one, Chucky Peterson, one of your guys up there. He's going up against Mike Williamson from Zanesville.
Okay, that'll be an interesting match.
Yep. And then
Money Bake, what's up, John? Danny Hillard.
And I think Danny Hilliard, he's got a match. Where was that at?
Is he pulling left or right-handed at your event?
I think he's pulling left. He's pulling left against Anthony Pergantis. I tell you what, that's going to be a good match.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good one. Because Anthony is no slouch, and neither is Danny. And I think they faced each other, and I think it ended on fouls, I do believe, at Kiwanis.
Was that at your event?
Yeah.
The East Liverpool? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, Danny's feeling good, too. This is going to be a good event. I'm looking forward to it. I will definitely be there to coach up my guys, man.
I was talking to Anthony, and he was telling me about how he wanted, because his brother he's got a couple matches. And then I talked to Anthony. I said, hey, would you like a match at Garage Wars left-handed? And I asked him who he would like to pull. Is there anybody that he'd look to pull? And he immediately said, your boy, Danny. Immediately. He said, Danny Hilliard, I want him.
Yeah. Danny's been training and he is looking really good. Kind of almost the best I've seen him in a long time. So that's good, man. Good matchup with those guys.
Awesome. I know. I think I've got to pull Danny up in Cleveland whenever you guys was up at that Cleveland, whenever I was up there. I do believe I got to pull Danny there. I can't remember anything about, his strengths or anything like that. I just remember I gripped up with him at one point. I can't remember what happened. But I know that at Anthony Pergantis, I pulled him left-handed down in West Virginia States, down at Christina Casto's event in Parkersburg. And he smoked me, boy. He smoked me. Dude, I got whooped. Granted, my left is not near my right, but, dude, that's no excuse. He just totally trounced me left-handed. But yeah, I think that's all your guys that have a match.
Yeah. Awesome, man.
And listen, John, don't
Yep.
think if there's somebody there and you're feeling froggy, dude, don't think that you're not allowed to, dude. You can jump up on that table. We will make something happen then and there. If you are feeling like you're wanting to do something with somebody there,
Yeah, for
you just
sure.
let me know, and I'm sure we can make it happen.
Hey, who knows? Maybe if I'm feeling froggy, I'll do a double dog and say, "Let's go!"
Holy moly, dude!
Me, you know what I mean?
Yeah, a double dog. Oh my goodness! I got one. I got one double. One of those double dog matches. The professor Dave Shell.
Okay.
He's taking on the two young guns from my club, Brian Fisher and Justice Black.
Okay.
Both right-handed, and both back-to-back. Well, it's not going to be back-to-back, but like I'll let him get a rest or whatever.
Yeah.
So he's going to go against Brian, and then he's going to go against Justice right after that.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't mind trying something like that for, maybe work on a sponsor, see, and I'll train like a crazy man, and we'll do it up.
That'll be fun.
Crazy, why not?
That'll be fun.
Hell
Let's see. What did Clay Dog? He's here. John, I saw $5. Your left arm hurts. Oh, okay, I must be talking about something else. Let's see. John's here. John Bakes. What up, John?
Yep.
Danny Hilliard, I think, pulling your left garage wars. Yep, he is. Yep. But Johnny, I'll be ready. Billy, come July 15th. Yeah, JD's, thanks for the opportunity. Yep. Dude, I'm telling you what, I'm excited for that match. I'm excited.
Yeah, man.
Because trust me, the way that him and Tim pulled at the Kiwanis, Tim does the exact same thing to me. So I know me and John are going to be pretty much the same.
Yeah. Dude, Tim is so strong, man. You get into his power. That dude's arm is just ridiculous.
Might as well forget about it.
Yeah. That's why I want to talk on it, man. Just lay into it lefty and just go and see what happens.
Cool. All right. I'm going to, let's move on a little bit. Let's talk about training, man. Can you kind of tell us what your training looks like?
So it's just, man, it's pretty intense. I mean, I usually wake up, get to the gym around between 5:55 and like 6:05 in the morning. I try to get my stretch and cardio and just get that first rush of, emotion out, get a good feel for the first thing in the morning. I like the first task in my morning, right off the rip, I want to accomplish something. I want to feel good about myself, So
yeah,
a lot of my morning workout is to just.
How many days a week are you going to the gym and doing this?
Usually Monday through Fridays morning, and then Saturday I will do like an evening routine after work. I work Monday through Saturday, and then Sundays I'll do like a kettlebell workout in the morning before I go practice on Sundays with some of the guys.
You're putting in work every single day.
Yeah. So like
cardio
at 6 a.m. and then my lift at 4:30 with Bart, John, my buddy Nick, Paul Barth comes in town sometimes, and then right about 5:45 we finish up our lift, and then I have a list of arm wrestling techniques that we're going to work on. So then we go right into arm wrestling 3-4 days a week too. Yeah. At times it gets intense, but like the Europeans are on the table 3-4 times a week. So like,
yeah,
I mean, you got to do it. You got to find a way. And if it takes sacrificing other things in life, if you have the ability to do so, if you take this sport as serious as I do, then you will find time and whatever it takes.
You make time. It's making time for it. If it's going to be a focus of your, a priority in your life, you're going to make time for what's priority.
And I mean, arm wrestling is a timed sport. Like you get good over time and repetitions and experience. So like a lot of times, people want to be cherry blossoms, and that's all good and everything, but you don't last if you become a cherry blossom. Like you got to take your time in the sport and marinate a little bit. And like you have to be willing to put the time into a sport that really doesn't have much kickback. So you got to ask yourself, what are you really doing in the sport? What do you want it for? Who are you? It asks a lot about who you are, and there's just a lot of work to get to certain levels, and there's even more work to stay at those levels, especially now with how competitive it is. And you have, so many people that are coming up the ranks. Amateurs are right on the heels of pros. They have access to all of our professional information in the snap of a button.
Yeah, exactly.
So Billy, I was talking to a couple of my teammates about it, and if I could put into perspective the acceleration rate of where I went, where I've been from, what I've seen with my peers and teammates and youth, with the access of information that's online now, what it took me to do in like 6 or 7 years, guys are doing in 2 years.
Yeah.
So,
that's a good point. Yeah.
So like you have amateurs that are amateurs for 2 years, and then they'll come up and possibly give me a solid match because of the access of information that they know how to arm wrestle. It's not do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, and you'll win arm wrestling. No, you need to know how to arm wrestle. So to know how to arm wrestle, you need to visualize it, practice it. There you go. So you visualize proper technique by professional technique, and then you go emulate that proper technique and practice it time after time after time. You don't need to go travel 3,000 miles and spend $900 to watch Devin and Michael Todd arm wrestle to see the beauty of how they arm wrestle. You just pay $15, and now you've got all that accelerated information.
Yeah. That's good points, man. Real good points.
Yeah.
Let's see, Christian. Hey, Billy, for those watching, how about give a rundown of who all is pulling at Garage Wars as of now? Yeah, we can do that here in a few. Wilkie, marinating as we speak. Like Travis said, get strong and learn, then compete. Yep.
Yeah, that's what you got to do, man. Just take your time in the sport and really don't expect big things out of yourself right away. Like you're going to run into a guy or multiple guys that are just going to start you, and you're not going to know why. And you just have to accept the fact that you don't know why, because, well, you just don't have the experience. So guess what? If you really like the sport and you want to learn, go get your butt whipped a couple more times and you'll get fed up and you'll figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because that light bulb will click sooner or later. You're going to get your hand ripped open so many times where you're just going to be like, oh my goodness, what the heck do I need to do to not get my tail crushed every 2 seconds? Like I remember I went through it. Everybody goes through it,
Yep. So also too, a funny, just not necessarily off subject, but I had a short hiatus in the sport because I wasn't having the success that I wanted. And it was frustrating. It's like coming back to my own learning in the sport development. And I can remember that I was winning a lot of local tournaments at 154 and I was feeling good. And then like I'd venture out a couple hours and I couldn't win. And I'm like, dang, man, like I get second place or third place, or like, I wouldn't win that big tournament that would, make you really feel like, hey.
Yeah.
So
it's a big fish in a small pond kind of thing, Yeah.
And it might have been even an ego check where I thought I might have been even, better than I was. And, I just wasn't having the success. So I took a break from the sport. And I went to boxing because I was pissed that I wasn't having success in arm wrestling and I needed to fight. And I'm like, dude, because arm wrestling just wasn't doing it for me at the time. So I trained for a boxing match, and a lot of my family is professional fighters on not my mom's side. There's 3 world champions in my mom's side of the family. Like they're pretty legit fighters.
Man. Awesome.
So I come from the other side of my family is a pedigree of boxers. So like I have that DNA, and I'm like, why not join this crew of awesome bloodline and see what I have? So I just skipped the amateurs. I told my cousin, get me a pro fight. I just want to turn pro and just get it over with. So I trained 3 months and fought at the local casino in my area, and I won that fight. Turned pro boxing, and then I'm like, man, I don't really want to do this anymore. This sucks kind of way.
Yeah, getting punched in the face isn't all that fun, is it?
Yeah, you know what? I didn't really get hit a whole lot. The decent amount in the second round. It was like 82 degrees outside when we were fighting, so I was gassed out a little bit. But it's more or less just the it's a higher demand than arm wrestling, man. And like having a full-time job, being a boxer, it wasn't practical for me, Yeah. So it was fun to say I did it, tighten up my skills a little bit, had some fun. But I'm passionate about the arm wrestling.
That's good, man. Well, we're definitely glad that you're passionate about it.
It's got a lot of the community's fantastic, Billy.
Oh, dude.
The arm wrestling community.
I guarantee you, the community is exactly why, I'm able to do this first and foremost.
Right.
And then, the community is so helpful. I have not ever come across anybody in the community that wasn't willing to help somebody else.
Right.
Never. If somebody had a question, man, they took the time to try to explain it. They weren't like, oh no, I'm not going to teach you my secrets. No. There's only so much on the table. You got a top row, you got a hook, you got a press. What else do you need? You know what I mean? Like the people that the elder statesmen of the sport are so willing to help the younger generation. It's awesome to see, the level of helpfulness that is within the community. It's awesome.
That's the love of the sport, Billy. And that's where you could see it come back out, because it's like I say this, the best business is repeat business. The only way for our sport to thrive and to stay thriving and to continue is by the older generations spilling it back. Like that's how it's a waterfall, man. If you don't, you got water up here, no water down here. Well, you got to have the gods got to send the water down. Like, how do you eventually you're going to run out of water too? So it's that full circle that comes back through, and that's where I've learned from all of my old school guys, that it's just that embracing that information and embracing the
we got to pass down the knowledge. You know what I
right.
mean? If you don't pass down the knowledge, the bloodline stops, or whatever you want to call it.
The sport doesn't grow. We need the sport to grow.
Exactly, dude. I tell you, like you said earlier, this sport is blowing up. It is huge right now, dude. Just in Ohio, we have a tournament every single month.
But you know what? That's you got guys that love this so much that they want to do it. They're willing to go through. Like, let's not forget how much work a tournament is for a promoter.
Oh my goodness.
So just that alone, we have to give the promoters that much love for just like, without the promoters, we arm wrestlers, we don't pull unless we go to practice.
Right.
That's what I support every organization, unless you suck. Right. You know what I mean? And that's just really what it comes down to. I'll arm wrestle really in everybody's organization. I don't hate on anybody, man. And I embrace the sport everywhere, because you may be mad at one person's event, but that doesn't mean that every person that attended an arm wrestled is a bad person, right? So you hate on an event, you just hated on every good person there too? No, man.
Right.
Just be happy for being everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Let's see here. Christian, I'm gonna go ahead and go over Christian's question here real quick about our Garage Wars. Okay, so just I'm gonna go down the list here real quick. If anybody wants to check out the flyers, they are on the event page on Garage Wars on Facebook. You can get on there and take a look at it in the discussion tab, and then you just scroll down. We got Nathaniel Richards versus JD Fox right hand. Matt Morrison right hand versus Noah Buki. Dave, the Professor Shell, he's going to be going up against Brian Sparrow Fisher and Justice Black. Old Guy versus Young Bucks. That's going to be a fun one. You're going to have Mike Brown right hand against myself. That'll be for right hand rankings in Ohio. 7 versus 8. I'm 7. He's number 8. Let's see here. We got Caleb Wilkinson versus Tyler Van Epps.
Yep.
The young kids, they're gonna not young kids, but young bucks. They're gonna be going at it. That is a right-handed match, also. Kurt Hood, he's going to be going up against Craig Emch. That's going to be a right-handed match. Let's see here. Alex Pergantis, he's going to be going up against Brian Fisher, left-handed. It's a different Brian Fisher too. There's two different Brian Fishers. So this Brian Fisher's, I think, is from down towards Wheeling, I do believe. So that's a left-handed match. They're lightweights. Wilkie, he's in the chat. Jeff Wilkinson, he's going up against David Bradingham, left-handed. That'll be, I think it's like a 160 match, I do believe. Cool. Josh Croxel, my teammate, he's going to be going up against Big Bad Fred Morrison, right-handed. That's going to be a good one. Dude, I'm telling you. Dude, they're both way stronger than I am. Like, Croxel, dude, he just mows through me now at practice. And Fred, he looked great at the Kiwanis event in November. It looked great.
Yeah, fantastic.
Let's see. Anthony Pergantis, he's going up against Danny Hilliard, left-handed. We're looking forward to that one.
Yep.
Kurt Hood, left-handed, against Justin Schaffner. I got to meet Justin Schaffner up at BG. He's an awesome guy.
Yeah.
Kurt Hood's going up against him left-handed.
Right on.
Let's see. Another Pergantis match here. Alex, he's going up against David Bradingham, right-handed. So there's like a little three-way kind of thing going on here.
Oh,
not trying to be gross about it, but it's they're like three guys they're kind of like intertwined there a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw this match, but Logan Scott and Don Jackson, it was on the amateur table, but I tell you what, these guys had one of the best matches at the Kiwanis event in November. Logan Scott and Don Jackson. Man, they had to have gone at it for like a minute and a half. I tell you, everybody was cheering. It was awesome.
You remember that match?
Awesome. And so hopefully they're going to put on another war for us. We're looking forward to that. Mike Knepp, he's going up against Amos Glenn, right-handed.
Woo! Amos got a strong old arm.
Yeah, he does. Mike was supposed to go up against Tim. Originally, but obviously Tim had his shoulder accident, and so he wasn't unable to continue with the match. So Amos, we got him to fill in for Tim. Mike was looking for a good match, and I think Amos can fill the spot very good.
Yeah.
So we got that one. Let's see here. We got a couple new guys to the sport. Hank Leitner. He's going up against Doug Four, right-handed. Those are a couple new guys. So I hope that they are training and learning what to do, for sure. Let's see here. Josiah Quad. He's a red line arm wrestler down by Zanesville. He's going up against one of my guys, Michael Malone. They're going at it left-handed. So that'll be a fun one. Mike has a very good left hand, and I heard Josiah has a really good left hand also.
Nice.
Logan Cooper, my guy Logan Cooper, he's going up against Joe Teat, left-handed. That's going to be for ranks for Ohio, left-handed. I think Joe Teat is number 5, I do believe, and Logan's number 10, I do believe, left-handed. at 198.
That's awesome. That'd be a good match.
Yep. This one right here is there, a lot of people are calling this match one-sided, but Mike Ennis against Jacob Robinson. Jacob is a newer puller in the sport, but he's putting in a lot of work, and he asked for this match. He gave me a list of guys, and I was like, hey, I'll ask Mike and see if he's willing, and he was willing to take the match. So Jacob has a big task ahead of him.
Yeah.
In the big dog, Mike Ennis. Mike is no joke and should not be lightly at all for anybody, no. let alone a high amateur puller.
Right.
So they're going at it right-handed, I do believe that one.
Yeah.
Let's see, Mike Williamson and Chucky Peterson, they're going at it. That is a left-handed match, I do believe. Yes, I do believe that is a left-handed match, I think. That one actually was the first match confirmed on the podcast. That was crazy. That was a fun one. Let's see here. Tiny Marshall, Tiny Burns, dude is a behemoth.
Yeah.
And he's going to be going left-handed up against Jacob Robinson. So hopefully Jacob has some gas left.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to get them, far apart,
Yeah.
So Jacob can get a nice little rest period in between, because I know that is going to take some energy out.
Yep.
Let's see, Jeff Wilkinson, he's going up against Lawrence Bell. I think that's a right-handed match, I do believe. That'll be a fun one. And here's another big one. Randy Duff. He finished right hand and left hand undefeated 198s at the Kiwanis event.
Yeah.
He's, I think, number 6 or number 7, 198 in Ohio. He's going up against Rich Calero.
That would be an interesting match.
Yeah. So Randy's putting in a ton of work. And everybody knows Rich is a beast. Everybody knows Rich is a beast. So let's hope Randy puts in enough work to make it happen.
Yeah.
And then also we got Tyler Hoyt, right-handed against Josh Garrettson.
Okay. Cool.
Josh had a great match at the Pottery Festival last year against Rich Gasky. Man, that was a great match they had. It was awesome. So Tyler Hoyt is going up against Josh right-handed. And I do believe that concludes all the matches as of the moment. But I do have a match announcement, and I will be making the flyer here soon. I got the picture from one of our athletes today. Our East Ohio very own Christian Ashby.
Right on.
He will be taking on the man, none other than Josh Koenig. It will be a left-handed match for Ohio State rankings. And I do believe they have money on it, I do believe. But I will be posting that flyer here later on today.
Sweet. I like it, man.
And then also I'd like to find a match for Christina Casto. She's going to be reffing for us that day. I'd love to find her a match. I haven't had any ladies step up to the plate yet, but I even talked to Christina about maybe even, giving a shot to like a lighter weight guy or something like that, it would probably be a decent match. You know what I mean? Like, Christina would probably crack that wrist back so quick, and she'd probably 3-0 the guy.
She might. I've never got the chance to practice pull with her, but I'm sure that she's very dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. She's probably
Isn't she a
she's
world
got enough experience where it's probably going to be no problem at all.
Isn't she a world champ in female division?
I do believe so. Believe so.
Yeah, so that woman has a lot of knowledge under her belt.
Oh yeah. And I am so thankful that she is willing to come up and ref the event for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome.
She's
She's
awesome.
She always does a fantastic job.
So All right, so that's Garage Wars. Christian, I hope I answered your question there.
I know.
Wilkie said marinating as we speak. Okay, so he already got that. Okay. Let's move on. So, John, who
Yeah.
is, in your eyes, for yourself, who is the most influential arm wrestler to you in arm wrestling? Like, who is the biggest impact on you?
I have a lot of I guess you could say arm wrestlers that do. I try not to just focus on one in particular because I think that there's so many amazing arm wrestlers out there. Um, so I try to take a little bit from each guy that I idolize and put it into my arsenal and then see, what I can do with my success with it.
Yeah,
I do enjoy Devin Larrett as his ability on the table. I'm not really a big fan of all the antics and whatever. And that's not talking down at all. I have
right.
bad love for, that's just
Yeah,
not my style. But what I do take from Devin, and again, he's a great dude off the scene too. I've had plenty of um, times where I've talked with Devin and hung out. I spent some time with him down at the finale for the show, and
yeah,
I ref for him in Buffalo. So I've had some good downtime with Devin. But what I like to take from him is his amazing arm wrestling and the his ability to adapt and to stay in the sport as long as he has, getting older, finding ways to still be a dangerous human. And that just gives me faith, like John Brzezink's another one. Win or lose, I mean, the man's finding a way to stay at the highest level of competition in his 50s and an age where, like, what other sport can you perform at its highest level at 55 years old?
yeah, exactly.
It's
Exactly.
kind of, and I don't believe Devin's that old, but I think John is in his 50s, correct?
Yeah, I think John's like 57 or 58. Devin, I think, is like 48 or 40. I do
Yeah,
believe.
yeah, and Ron Bath being another one. I mean, these guys are
Yeah.
they're finding ways, So I keep my eyes on my own path, but I always creep on the top level older gentleman in the sport, because eventually I'm going to be there, right? I'm not a young bull, so the only thing I pay attention to the young bucks is just how good they're getting.
Yeah,
Watch out
exactly.
for them.
You got to stay ahead of the game of
Yeah,
them just a little bit.
yeah, because knowing where I was as a youth and what I brought to the table better then than I do now. However, I'm a way more complete, better arm wrestler now. I never beat myself. You know, uh, the past guy would never beat me now. However, there's some attributes that I had as a youth that I know I don't necessarily have now. And knowing what youth can bring to the table, that allows me to prepare for a younger, feistier arm wrestler too.
Yeah, that's good. Um, is there anything that you would have done different earlier on, knowing what you know now, like knowing what you know now, you know, would you have changed anything different, starting out into the sport? I know you can't go back or anything like that, but
I would say I'd stay a little more consistent, and I think if I would have started out this sport a little more consistently in my, again, developing stages of it, then I don't think that I would be as overtrained at times, and I'd have a better
yeah,
understanding of myself and when I am 100% for a tournament. Because to be honest with you, I'm still in my figuring out phases of overtraining, undertraining, underhealing, overhealing. You know what I mean? I'm still trying to fine tune that, and I think that that's a big part of arm wrestling success is paying attention to when you're either overtrained, undertrained, overhealed, or underhealed. Like, I think overhealed is no good too because then you're not in shape. You know what I
right.
mean? Like, that's when you're like you feel stronger than hell, and pop, you're like, oh snap. Well, yeah,
Oh
you
yeah,
were overhealed, like overhealing has its consequences too. So I think that I would have stayed a little bit more consistent in the first like 6 years of me dabbling in the sport.
Gotcha. So new guys, if you guys are watching, consistency is key. Consistent. You got to stay consistent and know what your body is capable of. Get your recovery in, consistently do the work. You're not gonna go up if you don't stay consistent. You're just gonna be stagnant.
And that's a great point, Billy. And another super influential person who was a big and still, he's been dormant in the sport for a while because he's taking care of his family life and doing his own thing. And I mad respect for him. But again, Sam Harris told me, I was like, Sam, what when I was trying to understand the sport better, I was like, Sam, what is something that I can do in the sport to make me better? I was like, if you could tell me one thing. After we had like a really long arm wrestling session, I got to practice it for a long time. And he just goes, consistency is key. And I'm like, okay. And he really that was it. He didn't tell me do pronator more or do this. He's just like, consistency is key. And he's so right, and I mean, he told me that like 8 years ago. And I still, it's something that I hold dear today. You know what I mean? So that's a great piece of advice for everybody. Consistent.
I don't know if you guys can read it or not. You probably can't, but I just wrote down on this thing. I said right at the top of my page, I said big bold letters, be consistent, exclamation point.
Right. And it's funny, man. I was watching I was just scrolling through on the internet the other day, and there was a TikTok of Kobe Bryant, and he was talking about, and it made so much sense, and I understand it now. And he was talking about there's two different types of athletes, and you have your high level and you have your average level. And there's reason for that. And he was talking about that the guys who stay in the gym and they schedule their workouts from, you get a morning workout, mid-afternoon workout, end workout, nighttime workout, repeat. You don't do a workout at the end of the day for 4 months and then take 4 months off and then go 3 months on and 3 months off. You work every day, all day, forever, because you can't make up that time. Being the dude that takes time off, you can't make the time up that the dude who's been in the gym, grinding, consistent, day after day after day. You can't make that stuff up by doing increments of hard training, increments of long rest, increments of hard training, increments of long rest. You have to stay consistent and know when too much is too much and when not enough is not enough. That's a big sport too.
That's awesome. Wise words. Young guys, if you guys are watching, you better be listening. You better be, because I don't know what to tell you. We're giving you guys this information here, and if you don't, adhere to some of it, I tell you what, you're a fool, if you ask me.
Eat it up. You want the knowledge? Here it is. Eat it up.
Okay, let's move on just a little bit here. Let's see, goals. Let's talk about goals here real quick. John, do you have any goals within, like, for 23? Do you have any goals that you've set for yourself for 23, for it may be a 5-year goal or even a 10-year goal? Do you have any goals coming up that you want to hit?
So I do, Billy, but I believe that I have to get to a state of physical and mental health first before I can go achieving those goals. And that's why I've kind of pulled my focus back from tournaments. I'm going to give myself a little bit of time off. And then hit
from the tournaments. From the tournaments is what you're talking about. You're not taking time off of your training and all that stuff, correct? You're just taking maybe a couple tournaments off.
Yes, because I get really into my mind when matches come up, and I sometimes just over obsess. And sometimes if I have high level tournaments and high level matches within a short period of time, I'm always in that high nerve, high revved up, because I like that stuff. Like I enjoy being at heightened state of awareness all the time. However, it's just not always the greatest for normal living. You know what I mean? I got to go to
Right,
work.
right.
I got to pay bills and I got to live a normal life. You can't just be, hyped up all the time. So
It's understandable. That's understandable.
and I think I'm at a point in my life now where I have been grinding my butt off for a long time, that not do I deserve a break, but for me to continue on to excel in this sport without damaging myself, or because dude, eighth in the country is not the best that I want to get. So I need to find another gear. I need to take a moment, reanalyze, get my body to, get all the inflammation out from heavy, hard training, the nerves being racked all the time. Like, just
Yeah.
go to ground zero, live ground zero for a little bit. Then all of a sudden, my body's going to be like, hey, dude, let's go. Come on. And then when it tells me, like, let's go, well, then I'm going to really take off. So I don't have a whole lot of set in stone goals, Billy, for necessarily 2023. I could say that my future goals in the sport are to represent the United States overseas.
Oh, wow. That would be great. I'd love to see that, dude.
That's a goal of mine, is to get to a point where I can be recognized by, the USA as a national, a national arm wrestler, legit national arm wrestler, and be good enough and build my character enough to where I can go overseas, wear a USA shirt, win or lose, compete with the best of my weight class in my prime. That's a goal of mine. I want to make it overseas and just in my lifetime, see if I have enough to fight with the best in my weight class in the world.
Dude, that's an awesome goal to have. That is an awesome goal to have. And and to be honest with you, and I believe it's an achievable goal for yourself.
I think so too. And I have to make sure that I cross all my T's and I dot all my I's, Billy, because I think that it's a very it's a very calculated goal, because after pulling with Kevin, I got to understand what a world caliber arm wrestler is, and it's like, okay, it's achievable, but it's going to be hard work,
Yeah.
Like to give Kevin a match, that's one thing, but to be able to beat Kevin's arm is a whole nother story. You know what I mean? So like that's one thing that is not understandable until you grab a hold of Kevin's arm and you just feel for yourself.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But that's kind of my goal, you know what I mean? And the only way, Billy, I'm going to be able to achieve that goal is to go try to attack guys just like Kevin, the guys who are world caliber, you know what I mean? So
yeah. So from the sounds of it, you're going to be hunting some people down, is kind of what it sounds like to me.
Yes, and not in a bad way, Billy. It's simply to test myself. If I'm like, okay, well, this man has.
You have to go where the competition is.
Right, and that's why I've never been a guy that said no to traveling, dude. I think other than Kevin, I think I'm the road dog of the 54-pound class. I mean, I've traveled this entire country since 2019 in the 54 class, and I've lost and beat some of the almost, all of the top 20 I've got a piece of. Pretty close.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, and some, I pulled Sam Posture, I pulled Michael Hitt.
I think for sure that is a great great goal for you to set and achieve, and an achievable goal for you personally, from what I've seen out of your work ethic and your table skills. I think for sure that is an achievable goal for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. I'm gonna give it my all, and I'll just try my best, God willing. If I make it that long, we'll see.
Well, I tip my hat at you, just for, having a goal of that caliber, you know what I mean? Because a lot of guys, they just want to just stay in their little bubble, you know what I mean? And it takes a certain type of person to set such such a high standard and such a high goal for themselves, and that are willing to put in the work for it. You know, it is something that it's admirable,
And the thing about it, Billy, is I'm not going to know it until I get there. I mean, like when I go to bed at night, I like before I pass out, I'm like, did you give your all on every workout you could have did? Because if you didn't, well, you can't go back. You're just gonna, that's it. So, your opponent, he trained today. He probably went all out. Why didn't you? So then I asked myself, like, did you make excuses? Why didn't you hit that set hard enough? I just, sometimes I'm my own worst enemy, but at the same time, it's keeping me driven, and I expect the best out of myself when I'm in high levels of training.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Let's check out the chat. What did we got here? Otha Loving, he's here. Man, what a beast. I don't know if you got to pull Otha or not. Man.
No, but I've heard he's very tough.
Dude, so strong. Him and Kevin are actually going to be having a match at the Pottery Festival in my area in June after Michigan State. It'll be like 2 weeks after Michigan State.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's going to be a fun match. He said, good stuff, Billy. Thank you. JD Fox, he's here. He's said, I look forward to seeing you May and July, Billy. Thanks, JD. Thanks for coming, man. Appreciate the support. Thanks for letting me have those matches.
Right on.
Awesome. Okay, so my next question for you. I think I know where you're going, how you're going to answer this next one, but is arm wrestling a passion or a hobby for you? And if so, why?
So it started out as a hobby. It really did. And then, I'm trying to think, it became a little bit more passionate after I realized, how much time I was putting into it. I think about 5 or 6 years ago, roughly 5 years ago, I really, really started taking it serious. I would say 5 years ago, 2000 and maybe 17-ish, it stopped being a hobby and it became a serious passion. And I took it like I started dying for the sport.
Wow. Yeah. I tell you what, a lot of times you can tell it's a passion when people are willing to lose 50, 60 pounds of body fat in order to not get crushed in those heavier classes. I tell you what, it becomes a passion when you drastically change your physical well-being and your mental state, and it just becomes a passion whenever you're putting 4 hours a day into your training. And it becomes a passion whenever you're hitting the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning, like yourself, every day, 6 days a week, and then practicing on Sundays. It becomes a passion when you put everything of yourself into the sport.
And as much as a passion, Billy, there's love and hate. So it's like waking up at 4:50. So I drag my butt out of bed and drag myself into a hot shower and loosen up so I could get to the gym by 6 with all my stuff. It's not like, hey, everybody, hi. It's like, oh, gotta freaking grind this one out. So it's like,
yeah, exactly.
It's not a social hour, man. I'm there to do business, and that's taxing on my body too. It's not like, oh, well, you're built, you're in shape, you could do this stuff. Well, yeah, but I'm still kicking my own butt every day.
Yeah, you got to do it in order to keep that.
Yeah,
it's not going to naturally just stay that way.
Right, man. It's like, just hours of grind.
Grinding. Yeah, exactly. Just grinding through everything. Yeah. And I think that's really what the arm wrestling sport is just a grind.
Yeah, man. Sometimes you got to get in there and just grind it out, man. Throw your plan out the door and just bang. Just get after it.
In your eyes, John, what is your biggest accomplishment in arm wrestling?
So honestly, I would say the last time I went to Winter Blast and I won Winter Blast, that's when I won the Northeast Coalition belt. And I think it was my biggest win to date. I was able to beat Kevin twice that day, and it set me up 6th in the country that day. So I mean, I have to go with
Awesome.
backs. I wasn't even recognized. I mean, I was a solid pooler to 54, maybe top 50, but that day it set me up for all of this moment. So
Yeah.
I would have to
Who
say
else
that
was in the class? Do you remember who else was in the class besides Kevin?
there was Black Ice, Derek Doble, both ranked guys.
Yeah.
There was a guy from one of Badger Drew's guys. I can't remember his name, John something. Really, really tough dude. I
Yeah.
pulled him in the semifinals.
Nice.
Oh
Because that's
man,
where, dude, I can understand why you would think that was your biggest accomplishment, because if nobody's there, it's not going to be a big accomplishment for you in
right,
your eyes. You know what I mean?
right.
Like the level of competition that you're going against is very high. And I
Oh,
can see that. Oh my goodness. That can, wow.
national champion Tyler White. That dude's a bad dude too. I drew him first match.
Dang.
And then, yeah, it was a stacked class, and I was, with all due respect to everybody in the class, I was uncontested. Even with Kevin, I was uncontested. It was just, poof, then
Nice.
bang, everybody, Not
He
to
was
say
definitely on that day, huh?
I 100% was on. It was the best meet I'd ever performed. And, I'm trying to find that dude again, just a better level. I think I'm a better arm wrestler than that guy, Billy, for sure.
I got you. Yeah.
I just need to get, a little more healed up, let the elbow heal a little bit. It's just trial and error, fine tuning some things.
I can understand that 100%. I can understand that. It's, you can know this even at a practice. You know what I mean? There's certain weeks where you're just on,
right,
even at practice, and then there's certain weeks where you're just off.
absolutely.
I think a lot of the times it's obviously a mixture of everything, but what your recovery, your mental state, your focus, everything, and that just goes right along the lines with all the tournaments. If you're hitting all these tournaments,
Yes.
you're not going to be the same every single tournament. We hope that we are, but man, it can turn on one time and then totally be turned off the next one.
Yes. Yep.
But that is a lot of big names that you had to go through in order to get that. That's awesome, man. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Yep.
We're going to be wrapping it up here soon. Is there any shout outs or call outs that you'd like to do?
So I just want to give a shout out. I got a little list here. I want to just give a shout out to some of my old school guys right off the bat who kind of paved the way for us. Dan Carr was he was like our original creator, which if we ever do another podcast, Billy, then
love to have you on again.
I'll set up something to talk strictly about like the old school, the 1970s, 1980s, LEF, like the old school, my dad. And it's really good history. I'll do some research too and talk with some of the OGs. But arm wrestling in Erie has been known like Petaluma, California. Like it's that type of prestige. Everybody in Erie loves arm wrestling. So just a big shout out to Dan Carr for paving the way for all of us. Team Relentless, Dave, Bart, James, Adam, Paul Talbot, all my boys up there. James Reed, Michelle Dugan, always got love for you guys. My team, Bakes, all my boys, Nick. I don't necessarily have any call outs, Billy. I'm curious to see the outcome of this next event, that tough round robin down there. That
man, you and everybody else, I guarantee you.
Yeah. So at this moment, I mean, I'm just kind of laying low. I'm laying low, and I would like to have a future match with Ezzy Warden at some time, righty. He's a super tough dude from New York, like Syracuse area, I believe.
Gotcha.
I'm not 100% sure. I believe he's out that way. He always shows up at James Reed's tournaments and stuff, but super strong righty. I know he wanted to challenge me for the belt at some point, so I'm sure that him and I are going to collide righty at some point.
That's cool. Heck yeah.
But other than that, I'm not sure, buddy. I'm not sure. I'm just kind of riding it out and enjoying the sport a little bit from the back end, coaching up my boys, seeing some of my team, achieve some greatness and stuff. And
yeah. At any point, please let me get on the table with you.
Yes, for sure, man.
Drifting up with you one time and getting smoked. Oh my goodness. I was like, oh, what did I do? Oh my goodness. I was over before I even could blink. My hand slipped off the peg. It was so quick. I was like, what just happened?
Hey, Billy, when I get up in them big boy 176 classes, man, I don't play around. You guys are too strong. I gotta just lay into you.
I was like, what happened? It was just like it was just too fast. I couldn't even think. And then it was just over. I was just like, oh my goodness, bro.
I got to get back on that speed sometimes. I got to work back on that. It's fun. Every now and then I bring out a different arsenal, try to do some power, some speed. But like I said, you big boys are strong, man.
Trust me. I need to work on my speed and my reflex.
When I see you at Garage Wars, we'll do some work, man. We'll do some side pulling and stuff.
I'd love that. I would love that. Give me some of that knowledge. I'll take all I can get, brother. Trust me. I take everything that I can get.
For sure. Same here, bud. That's where I got to my spot,
Bill Connor, he's here. What's up, Bill? He is one of the sponsors for the podcast, Morrow County Arm Wrestling League. Yes, Bill Connor right there. He said, hope to see everybody at the Ohio State Rumble, April 22nd. Yep.
Right on.
I've had a post about that. The link is in my post. If anybody wants to go to my Facebook page and scroll down to that, and then they can find the link on that. I'll be reffing that alongside Eric Crespo. That'll be a fun one.
Right on.
Juan Ortega said he'll be there. Bill Connor. Awesome.
Right on. That's awesome.
Let's see here. If anybody in the chat, if you guys want to have any questions for John, we're going to be wrapping it up here pretty soon. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and pop them in the chat before we go.
I know.
But I definitely want to get on the table with you again. See if I can give you anything. I'm not expecting to give you anything, but I just want to be able to grip up with you more than just a split second.
For sure, man. For sure. We'll get some work in too, Billy. I'll definitely get some work in with you. I'm always down to test spots, man. I'll even let you get into your good spot, comfortable spot, and we can work, dude. I have no problem going on everywhere, man. Anywhere you want to go, we get some work.
Yeah, I love with the lighter and or the younger guys, like one of our teammates, Justice. I love doing that with him. Just letting him get into a strong spot and just seeing if he can make the right decision,
right,
in order to get my wrist to the pad,
right.
And sometimes he does it, man. Sometimes he's able to hit that right decision at the right time, and there goes my hands right on the pad, and I just I love that feeling and that smile that he gets. That's so great.
Same thing with Tyler, Billy. These kids are like, their table IQs are just, they blow my mind. Yeah.
I think it's because they're so young. Their brains are able to, suck in this knowledge and this information. They're malleable. They're able to withstand, the information a lot quicker than guys my age at like the late 30s, like I got to do things, like 10, 20 times for it to really sink into my brain. These kids are only doing it, 4, 5, 6 times. And they're like, oh yeah, I got this.
Amazing, man. Yep.
It is wild. It is wild. I can't wait to see what the sport will become in 5 and 10 years,
I agree. Yep.
it's going to be an awesome time. It's going to be an awesome time.
I agree.
But John, I really appreciate you coming on, man. I really do. Thank you for the knowledge. Thank you for the storytelling.
Thank you.
Podcast, man. Thank you so much for being here.
It was a pleasure, Billy, man. Thank you again. And look forward to being on again with you, buddy.
Yeah. I really need to get a community podcast going again. I had one not too long ago. I think it was just like a real quick one. I think we only did like 2 days notice or something like that. But I got to get another one. Maybe get some big names in here with us. Yeah. Yourself, myself, maybe Joel and Kevin and everybody. That'd be a fun one.
Let's do it, man.
Tony Stansberry's a great podcast, guys. Thank you so much, Tony. He watches all the time. I really appreciate your support, Tony. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I appreciate y'all.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here for East Ohio Arm Wrestling. And thank you to our guest, Johnny Heynoski. Thank you so much for being here.
Right on.
Thank everybody for being here, and be sure to tune into the next one. Thank you so much, and God bless.
Take care, Billy.